All right. The third game here in the quarterfinals. Again, Johnny on the left side playing against Jan. It's Mono Blue control against Esper midrange, and Mono Blue gets to be on the play, which must be a huge difference, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think like in the last weeks, I had some discussions about being on the play and on the draw against other control decks with my deck. And yeah, a friend of mine let me start when we had a control mirror, and he said I can start. And I'm still not, and I think it's wrong, and he thinks he's right. So one of us has to be wrong, right? So I'm actually not sure. But in this matchup, of course, I want to be on the play because he has a lot of 2 and 3 drop creatures, which I want to count.
It feels like the older the format, the more you want to play because the cards are so powerful.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. Though it would be interesting if I play against like blue-white control, for instance. Like there's not a lot of stuff which can happen in the first few turns. They don't even have this.
So Jan had a hand with 2 lands and some kind of expensive spells. And the Mentor and the Sword. That wasn't good enough. Also, pointing out again the free mulligan, like this might have been a hand you kept if you don't have a mulligan, although it would have been much closer. But
no, I think with the passive exile, it is already a mulligan to 6. Like if you'll be honest about it. In this matchup, you don't want to have this card on your starting hand, so it's easy to mulligan for me. Like your hand has to be really, really good to keep it if you have already a dead card.
Yeah, having multiple, like a force and something that's really great. And having Mentor must be a really good card against you.
Yeah, actually, it is a good card. Though I already have an Expedition Map on my hand, which can get a Tabernacle, which can be really annoying if you have a Mentor. But yeah, in general, the Mentor is a really, really nice card against my deck.
How much worse would your deck be without a Tabernacle?
Oh, 50%. Like, it wouldn't be playable. I'm not joking. It wouldn't be playable without Tabernacle. Even though it's 1 in 100, right? I have some ways of finding it. Also with the filtering and like all the digging, I can get to it faster. Without being able to stop those swarms. Swarm? Do you say that? Swarm?
Swarms of creatures.
Swarms of creatures. If I can't handle that with my deck, I think my deck would be much, much worse.
So second hand shows 3 lands in the Maze of Ith, which
that's a really, really nice hand.
Kind of the Maze of Ith also functions like a path, which is bad, right?
Yeah,
but the other cards are Miscalculation, Click, and Recoil, and those are supreme. Like a Click is very good because you can play it on your opponent's turn. It's hard to counter. Recoil can set back a land, I think, because it can also target permanents.
Yeah.
So Jan should be very happy with the send.
That's an example of a hand which I would keep, even though with having 1 bad card. In this spot, Path of Exile would be better than a Maze, of course, because you can play it on your own creature later on, or you can play it on a threat I might resolve. But still, like the rest of the cards is so strong. Like I really like this hand.
Also, we see in this case the Maze is not dead because you actually drew one of the 3 creatures.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay, I lead here with the Expedition Map. Nothing spectacular.
Do you have any other lands besides Caracas and Islands and Tabernacle? Like a land, for example, a temple that makes 2?
No, I have what is it called? Blight of Catacract. The land you can sacrifice to draw 2 cards. And I tested some time ago this Monarch land. Like you can activate it to become the Monarch. But it's only working in control mirrors, and I never drew it to test it anyway, but I never felt like searching for it. So that was an indicator for me. I don't want it. So I go back to the Catacract. And I really like the card. So yeah.
So and of course Wasteland we see, which already worked out nicely in game 1.
Exactly. And I'm on the play. I'm much more comfortable using the Wasteland on the play against a 3-color deck. And let's talk about the Reanimate, by the way, which Jan drew 1 turn in the last turn. I really like having this card in this kind of deck because you have already counter spells and a lot of removal spells, and getting the best creature out of both yards for only 1 mana is like worth a lot, I think. Like I really like this card being in a control deck or a mid-range deck and not dedicated arena meta decks. I really think a lot of more decks should play that card, to be honest.
Because it's easier to protect the card.
It's easier to protect. It's really cheap, which is really important in most Highlander games. Like a lot of games were decided turn war.
You have to pay the life.
Like you have to pay the life. But I mean, I think getting those creatures back, which are able to block and maybe prevent the life loss you would otherwise receive, like I think it's still worth, like even with the life loss. We are not talking about like Primeval Titans and stuff. Maybe just even the Titan Scholar or like I don't know, some utility creatures. Like getting this, let's say, I don't know, I don't have a good example, but let's talk about the game. So Jan drew Gideon, which I never saw before. It was the first time I saw this Gideon, like later on, I think. And he doesn't have any white, so
Gideon became much better with the new Planeswalker role.
For sure.
You can assemble multiple Gideons, and having one kind of leaves you a lot of opponent a lot of chances to just kill this and you're dead. But if you ever played Gideon into the bigger Gideon, then it's really hard for your opponent to raise.
Yeah. So wastestanding his white source was really important, as you can see. He lacks a lot of mana. He needs a lot of mana. Now he wants to resolve a preordain. I was considering countering that, but I went for the click because I think it actually wasn't a good play to go for the click because he has a method is. So, but I have also a Tectonic Edge already. So I feel like since he's missing a land drop, I want to apply pressure. And he can't do this. So that's why I go for the click here.
I feel like the pressure, like he will have cards to deal with the click, probably. And the only way, like if you take something, you just higher the chance of giving lands.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's funny because your Tectonic Edge counts the land of your opponents, but Mace is a land, but not a land, so that's really awkward.
Yeah, it's really awkward for him, like really unfortunate.
Here we see you reading the Gideon, of course.
Yeah, I wasn't believing my eyes, to be honest. I was really like, okay, well, that's interesting. He has 4 loyalty when he's activating, and it's only 3 mana. Oh, that's nice. Oh, he has, this ultimate has to be really expensive, right? Oh, 0. Oh, that's right, yeah. So I was like, what? What?
A good card you have there. Shame it's not blue.
Well, actually, I'm considering building my blue deck into a blue-white control deck now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gideon will be a part of it.
Oh, Gideon will be a part for sure. He will be very welcome to the family of control.
So you don't really want to take anything, right?
Exactly. I don't want to give him the mana. Since I know about the mana leak, it's not that strong anymore. And all those other cards are not threats, right? Like his click is annoying, but I have a cryptic command. I have the spell snap for the mana leak. The recoil is annoying at best. So yeah, I don't really care about those cards.
The only thing that's kind of problematic for you right now is that the only thing that he can deal with the click very easily, especially with cards like Persecution that don't do anything besides that, and the Maze. And you're down on cards a lot.
Yeah, that's true. He can kill my Nemesis with the Persecution, so it has another important application. But at this spot, it's already a dead card usually. But he can use it against the click, so yeah, it's already a way for him to deal with the click. So.
And also another point for not playing the click is maybe you can find something you want to put away.
Yeah.
And that's.
That's true. That's actually a good point. Though. Now that I'm thinking about it, if he kills my click, he can really make it right, and then he gets another, look at the stack to find another land. So, but still, I think to play the click here is the right play.
So Frostbite and Shaman are in the scry for Preordain, and both are non-lands, and both are not really what you want right now, but they're guaranteed to come if you need them. Like the Deathrite Shaman is kind of mana.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him. It is like when I would be in his seat, I wouldn't mind taking the Deathrite Shaman because already 2 lands in the yard, probably another land because of the Tectonic Edge. So, and my blue deck doesn't have many options to deal with the Deathrite Shaman. I mean, the best card would be Threats of Disloyalty, I guess, but yeah, that's it.
And also, taking away your cards from the graveyard is relevant.
Yeah, for sure. He saw the Emrakul. He knows I played Delve cards. But he found
Snapcaster Mage and stuff.
Yeah. But he found a fetchland, so.
And that gets wide, and wide is very dangerous here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, his hand.
Oh.
I didn't know that I was doing that. So.
How convenient? Like, not convenient. That is brutal. Okay, so here you decide to destroy the black-blue source.
I don't go for the maze because I know he already can answer my click, so I won't go for the maze. I want to stumble, I want him to stumble, continue to stumble on his mana issues.
What was the decision of not taking the land that Jan fetches with the Bloodstone Mine?
Well, I don't want him to have 5 mana in his main phase.
The 3 mana.
Yeah.
Because you know that for 3 mana a lot of stuff can come.
Yeah. Also, he can't play the Persecution this way. I mean, he could in response. I could counter it with the Spellsnare then, but this way he can't play it.
I mean, is that important? Your click doesn't attack anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe it's not important. I just thought I don't want him to have 3 mana in his main phase. So now he's discarding it, and yeah, you know, as a blue control deck, if your opponent starts discarding, you kind of already won the game.
Oh, here we see. You have to attack like every 3rd turn or something. Maybe your opponent forgets. It's like attacking every turn is just too regular. So you have to like, here, play this attack. You got it still.
Well, wait, you won't believe me, but I tell you, like a lot of people forget the maze at some point. Like they did it each turn. And there will be a turn where they missed it and get 3 damage. So.
You're dealing 0.1 damage or something. Effectively. So you drew something pretty nice, actually. There's a Thoughtscour, which can be very important if you draw some Delve spells. Is there something you can play from your graveyard that you want to put into things?
No, actually I have. I have the Champion of Wits, which have Terminalize.
Oh, yes.
One of those 2. This card is a card which fellow Highlander player recommended, Luca. He showed it to me, and first I was like, I don't really like it. But
because it's a bad creature and you don't really get anything before.
But you have to consider, like, you have still a lot of dead cards in your deck, right? So filtering is very important. Installing the board 1 turn is really great on this deck, and also having this uncountable card draw engine against other control decks
from the graveyard, yes.
The graveyard is really, really strong. Like drawing 4 cards in the late game is so strong.
Also like an extra card. Like if you somehow get into your graveyard out of pure happenings, like if your opponent casted him or if you find it with Thoughtscour, then you just drew a card when you use it also.
Exactly. So we see Jan using his Collective Brutality, and he doesn't fetch a white mana, by the way. He's afraid of back to basic at this point, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, now he wants to get rid of the click. I don't know why, to be honest. Like, I already played Wasteland and Tectonic Edge. The only thing which will get him here is the back to basic, but he won't win against the back to basic with his hand anyway, right? He can't to fetch for a basic land here, and he doesn't need to kill the click, I think, with his Mason Death.
So also discarding into the Collective Brutality seems
that's really weird. Like in my open mana, that's a really weird play. I think he thinks I have a reanimate for the click, and if it doesn't resolve, he can't reanimate the click. So this way he makes sure to get his click out of the yard with his reanimate, right? Maybe that's a line of thinking. That's why he discarded.
I understand that, but then you can just play it and it gets countered. Like,
yeah, but he doesn't have the mana. Yeah, I mean, at some point he needs the mana anyway to win the game, so maybe you're right.
Like the click is a guaranteed spell that gets countered, and this way you're stealing away a card that you could have had. Like, for example, the Gideon is much worse, or the Sword.
Yeah, true. So I have 3 counter spells in my hand. I have a Medallion, which makes them cheaper. I really don't see how I can lose this game, like from my perspective.
Do you? Yes.
So that's a Supreme Will. That's a new counter spell. It's really like I'm not a fan of 3. Oh, speaking of Champion of Wits, there it is. I'm really not a fan of 3 mana counter spells. I have some respect for Disallow, like the stifle counter. Actually, I was playing a control player last week, and there were a lot of instances where I thought, because I knew he has this card, I really hope he doesn't have this card right now. I really hope he doesn't have this card right now. So I'm really surprised by it, how strong it is. But Supreme Will, I think, is a really, really nice card for high-lander control decks. Like, having this impulse in the later game, not having this dead card, is kind of a worse miscalculation, I guess. But it's very close to miscalculation, actually.
This allows also another inclusion in the worst case cards that your opponent basically never has, but could have.
Yeah, and then it's, also, like the Nimble Obstructionist, the Stifle Bird, which draws your card.
Ooh, yes.
They're really, really strong.
So here we see you taking and playing Champion of Wits, which of course costs 2 mana because of the medallion.
Yeah, which is actually a card which you recommended at the beginning when I was building this deck, the Medallion, the Sapphire Medallion. So I have to thank you for that. I guess it's one of the best cards in this deck. So.
It seems like it's just a talisman because it makes 1 mana, but since a lot of your cards are very cheaply cost and also cost colorless, you can sometimes get 2 or 3 or 4 mana out of 1 turn.
Yeah, it's
and it's very important because a lot of your spells cost 4, and you can play a Planeswalker early. It's just so good, yeah. And here we see you already netted 2 mana, and you might even get 1 extra mana for the Cryptic Command and stuff. So good.
Yeah. So at this point, I play the champion and counter his Mana Leak. I don't feel great about it because if I don't find a land with my Champion of Wits, which by the way I don't want to find because I want more cards in my hand, then I can't play the Cryptic Command in this turn. So I feel a bit meh, to be honest, right now. But since I found a Jace, I didn't. Wait.
This is the Scry.
It was Scrying. Yeah, it was Scrying. Yeah. So now I'm drawing too fast. Since I found the Jace, I don't feel that bad about it now.
Also, like I feel this is the best Jace after the 4 mana Jace for the board control matter. Like,
I mean, do you consider the loot Jace, the 2 mana Jace, as a Jace?
Not really, but you should probably. Like the fact that you can play it and bounce twice and it still lives is insane.
Yeah, for sure. I really like this card. Yeah.
So here we see the play you were like mentioning in Jan's head that the reanimate gets back the click. And also there's like, do you take yourself? Do you want to get lands? Or your opponent is having heavy card selection, you want to take away something that might be threatening?
I don't think that at this point you take the opponent's hand. You have to guide your own hand. I think all his cards do so much. Like every single one of them is really strong. So I think he just wants to find the mana, in this case a white mana for the Stonecrush mistake. But of course I Cryptic Command here.
Yeah, if he has a Force Spike again, that's fine. But
yeah, I mean,
you just say, okay, I will cast something next turn that's super relevant, and also Scry Draw is such a good effect.
Yeah.
Treachery, also all-time staple of a Highlander card.
It's actually banned in Modo Dual Commander.
Yeah, because it's just way too good for a card that's included in every blue deck.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we play Eternal format. I mean, really, is Control Magic the best thing we got? I don't know. I think
it's a free Control Magic.
Yeah, for sure. Still,
and there's also one reason that it was banned is also it was too good with High Tide.
Yeah, I guess that's a really important point because they have this consistent High Tide wins with Jace and stuff. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's too good of a card, and it also is way too good in one specific deck. And
so sadly, we see not a real game. At this point, Jan didn't find a land in the last 4 turns. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's also an advantage of your deck. Basically, every game seems like a real game.
Actually, he was asking asking me after the game, how does your deck win? And how does your deck win? I don't understand. How does your deck win? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how it's winning, but it sometimes does. So, yes.
We had a discussion for standard. There's a cycling deck, which is also blue-white, which basically wins with Drakehaven, making tokens. And I was, at one point, I played the deck, I tested it for a tournament, and people asked me, like, you're never attacking. Why are you never attacking? And it's like, there's almost no reason to attack because your opponent will just concede at one point. And here we see it, that's the concession. Like, your cards that don't do anything for killing somebody will just be enough because eventually you find one card that doesn't.
Exactly. And you could see him on the white side, like asking me, how does the deck win?
All right, but it won, and that gets you to the semifinals, which you can see in the next video. So stay tuned.